ABCD is well known for helping young people through preschool and summer jobs programs. More recently, it's been expanding a dropout prevention program that combines learning in school with experience in a workplace. It's called WorkSMART. To tell us about the initiative, our ABCD's President and CEO, Shawn'Dreyah, and one of the participants, a student at the Academy of the Pacific Rim Public Charter School, Shawn'Dreyah Murphy. Thank you both very much for being with us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I want to start with John. You know, there have been a lot of programs over the years aimed at making sure students either finish school or come back to school. What was the niche that ABCD was trying to fill there?
Well, as you said, we have a lot of years of working with the youth in the city. In fact, many years ago, we had what's called an in-school program, but that was federal government. That was actually a large investment by a nation, which was very helpful, kept kids in school, they worked after school. That went away. We had a lot of dearth. I mean, just a big hole in available programs and activities for our youth. And I don't think it's any secret that in the cities, Black, brown, Latino, and other youth start about 12 steps behind everybody else because of where they were born, what they looked like, or what the image they had. We recognize that. I recognize that. And so what we said, and got 3,000 official dropouts every year in public school. That's official. A lot more than that. You have youngsters in the 7th and 8th grade starting to fall behind a grade at a time. They're future dropouts. So we needed to engage, but there was elements that you have to have. I've got a lot of years in this, and the elements are, one, you have to have an activity after school that will engage the youngsters in something in their community, something they can work at. They have to get paid. There are no jobs in a lot of our communities that youngsters can go get a job. Their parents can't get a job. So you have to be paid. So you put those elements together and say, okay, we already have a career orientation program for youngsters. We have programs with the parents. We have a whole bunch of things, but what's going to drive WorkSMART and make WorkSMART work? It is going to be that youngsters who come into this program make a major commitment. They will stay in school and they will graduate, and we will stay with you until that happens. And we will go and make sure as best we can to get you into college or get you someplace else. Because when youngsters come to us, unlike my wonderful companion today, they don't have a clue. They haven't seen a lot of graduates around them, or if any. I'm talking about going on to bigger things. They look at the General Society, they don't look like them. So where do you get that motivation? So we said WorkSMART combined with summer, combined with everything else, let's go. We piloted it.
Right. Shawn'Dreyah, what are you doing right now in WorkSMART?
I am part of a organization called Mission Safe, and we build bonds between different businesses, and they help us come up with these connections between our individual selves as youth workers, and they help us build the connection between the business worlds and stuff. So as youth workers, we may see the world differently as adults. So a lot of kids my age see working as just money and stuff like that, versus there's a small portion of us that, like me, myself, I see work as self-determination, confidence, and like skill building. And for me, I feel like WorkSMART it really helps me with my problem-solving skills, my communication, and being more confident in myself.
What do you want to do after high school?
I want to be, I'm in between. I want to work with kids with special needs because I have a passionate heart for that. And I also want to be a math teacher. So I think I may be a math teacher for kids with special needs to help them. And yeah.
John, the main reason your program exists, WorkSMART, is you're helping young people overcome barriers. And when I hear Shawn'Dreyah talk, she sounds like she's on the road. I mean, she's headed there. It's hard to imagine a barrier, and yet there are barriers.
Too many, and Andrea's probably faced her own barriers. But a barrier for some people, obviously, is where I grew up. Was nobody in my family ever graduated from anything. And you looked at work, if you got work, you looked at your streets. So some of our kids get up in the morning and are not safe. We know that. Families got under tremendous stress. Not a lot of role models, particularly for the young men. So we need to break through that and recognize as early as we can to say, hey, we start thinking about something over the hill. You can actually be there. It's hard. I couldn't do it when I was 15, and I'm not living in the middle of Roxbury. I was living in someplace else. But you have to have some guidance in it, something. And WorkSMART and other things we do and work with others is to get the youngsters to see opportunity, to see the horizon, to understand they can be there, but they have to work hard. They have to apply themselves. We get the parents to come into all of our WorkSMART locations. More participation in the public schools. Terribly important. The parents see what's going on. Take that back to the family. And you do it one by one by one. And the more we can do it, we'll save a generation. Because if you haven't worked by 24, you'll never work. If you haven't got a high school diploma, your chances are. We got more men, as been said, in prison, black men, than in college. It's a horrible scorecard. We need to change that.
Shawn'Dreyah, I think back when I was in high school, it was easy for me to almost disappear in a classroom where there were so many people. The teacher didn't know I was there maybe, but what about this WorkSMART program? Are there people, some adults who do know you're there and they give you a lot of attention?
My placement in Jamaica Plain, every Monday we have like a tutoring hall type session, and there we work on our homework and we work on like different ways we can better ourselves and our placement, not only as individuals but as a team. So on Mondays we sit down and we do our homework, and Emily, am I allowed to say her name? Okay, so Emily, she's our YSS, which is kind of like our boss or supervisor, and she makes sure we're all there, and she provides one-on-one help with any topic or any subject that we need, and we're allowed to talk to like kids that are in different grades and that are able to help us. So if one person feels like they're not getting the proper help, I feel like that's impossible, because they're always on our backs about doing our work, bettering ourselves, and making sure our grades stay persistent and keep progressing.
John, just briefly, I know there are some good results about this program that show it seems to be working. So if anybody else is interested in getting on board, is there a way they can follow up on that?
I'll try to be brief, but we need a lot of help. This is an experiment, it's a pilot, it works. But we need investors, we need government, we need volunteers, particularly volunteers who come from both communities that can set a standard. It's a rich program, and in order to continue it, we're going to have people step up to the plate with public money, private money, volunteerism. My goal would be to reach every one of those 3,000 dropouts before they dropped out. It's going to take a lot of money. But what helps also is to surround them with the volunteers, with all of the people that Shawn'Dreyah is talking about, who says, we have a high school, for example, where every morning, because they all dropped out before they come back, every morning the teachers and counselors call the home and say, you're coming today, right? You need a ride. And when you get there, you got a problem. So let's make sure we know each other, other than just teacher relationship. But we need a lot of help from anybody who has resources, because WorkSMART works.
Okay, thank you both very much. John Drew from ABCD and Shawn'Dreyah Murphy from WorkSMART. We'll have more news in just a moment.